Today we're going to talk about camera cages, V-mount plates. We'll mention what camera cages are, what they're for, and also I'm going to show you some of my setups, my rigs for my Sony FX3. Hello and welcome to this beautiful location. This is the Isle of Skye, north of Scotland. Hope I found you well. I have recently purchased the Sony FX3 in 2023. It's never too late to buy a new camera, so I needed a cage for it as well. And I chose the cage from Smallrig with the V-mount plate as well. Smallrig is an amazing company that creates modular items to customize your camera. Basically, it means you can build your camera as a Lego. So you buy different components, you put them together, and you build your perfect setup. So go and check Smallrig because they have a lot of really useful things for professional use, but also for day-to-day use. And of course, you will find the links of these products in the description tab. Everything I'm going to say about cages is not just about the FX3, but it relates to all the cages and cameras out there. Why we use cages in the first place? These things are usually made of aluminum or different metals. They're very robust, so they can take a lot of hits. The second reason why we use cages is because they can help you to set up and rig up your camera as you wish. For different jobs, you have different needs, different way to set up your camera, different tools to put on top of your camera. So I'm going to show you the main rigs I use for my day-to-day filming and vlogging, but also for my professional jobs. And we're going to talk about these tools as we go with the video. To do a bit of unboxing, you get a NATO rail that goes on top of your camera, which I don't have right now because I don't use it. It's not my setup, but that will help you to add an external handle, for example, if you want so. The Sony camera will come with the XLR handle, and the cage from Smallrig comes with an extension for your handle, because usually this handle is very short and it's not very comfortable. So you will add some extra room here for your fingers, and also you have different threads and cold shoe mount to add microphones or whatever you need, external monitors and so on. You will get all the screws needed to set up your cage. You will get also a very useful HDMI cable clamp, which I'm going to explain later when I show you my setup. We have a magnetic plate here for your Allen wrench to screw all the screws around the cage. We have a hand strap, and that's more or less it about the cage. With the V-mount, well, that's what you get more or less. And once again, I'm gonna go through my first setup right now, and I'm gonna talk a bit more about this cage and V-mount plate. So with the cage is usually wrap your camera. You simply slide it through there, and you have different attachments to secure your cage around the camera. So the first one is underneath. That's a 1/4 inch screw, which I'm going to screw with my Allen wrench that comes with the cage. And that's how I usually set it up. But also, this is a great cage because you've got two side screws as well to have the camera even more secure. There you go. Because sometimes the camera moves inside the cage and you don't want to have that. But this one is very solid, so one is enough for me, and that's what I do. My very first setup is for vlogging. Usually I do a lot of vlogging daily, so I use the cage for protection, as I mentioned before, but also I use an external microphone that can be a lapel mic, as I'm using right now, but also a directional mic like the Rode Video Micro. I place it on top of this cold shoe right there, and I'm going, of course, to attach it to the input. And that's it. This is my very basic rig. It's for vlogging or any day-to-day use. And that's what I do. I love it because I've got the handle as well. It makes it more comfortable and more secure to carry around the camera whenever I don't use it. This cage is made of aluminum alloy, stainless steel, and also a bit of leather for the handle. It also comes with the Narca Swiss plate, which is a quick release plate meaning you can put your camera from a stabilizer to another or from a stabilizer to a tripod very quickly, if you had the same mount, of course, on all the devices. It's a very common quick release plate, the Arca Swiss, which we will find also on the V-Mount plate. And I definitely recommend quick release plates because you can really save a lot of time, especially in professional shoots where you need to run through the shots. Let's talk about the second setup I use, which is more for professional use. What I would do right now is to add the XLR handle, the Sony handle on top of my camera. This is not just because I want to carry the camera more comfortably, but also because sometimes I'm switching the microphone from the mini jack to XLR. So I want to have the Sony XLR handle on top. And of course we can use the same Allen wrench we used before to secure our handle on top of the camera. Once again, guys, the good thing of Smallrig, you can also buy generic camera cages that you can mount on any camera, so you don't have to sell and buy a new cage every time you get a new camera, basically. You can simply buy a generic plate with maybe mounts, different mounts and cold shoes, and you can use them on any camera you have. It will save you big money in the long run. Nice feature here is this battery door on the cage. So whenever you want to switch the battery of the camera, you need to open this door or the camera battery door will not open. So you open the cage door and there you go, you can now replace your battery. You've got so many different threads around the cage, probably around 10 from the sides to bottom, 3/4 and 1/4 inch threads, different options there. So let's carry on here. What I'm gonna do next is to attach the V-mount plate. Now this very simply slides under your cage and we lock it with this lock at the front. There's another Arca Swiss plate, once again, to quickly switch between stabilizers, tripods, and so on. And we're gonna put the battery. This is a V-mount battery. This lasts much longer than the Sony batteries, probably 4 times longer than the normal batteries. But the good feature here is that I can power either the camera and the monitor through the same battery, and I'm going to show you in a second. As you can see, it's really nice and compact. The setup, I really love it. That's why I like portable things. I try to be as portable as I can. Last thing I'm going to do is to add my monitor, and I slide it into a cold shoe by Smallrig, which I purchased separately. And these tools, guys, are never enough. So I recommend to have a few in your bag because, again, you will never have enough for microphones or monitors. You slide it in. I tilt my monitor down, that's how I use it usually, that way, but it's great because you can tilt it in any kind of direction. And then with a USB to USB-C cable, I'm going to power the camera through the V-mount battery, because on the V-mount battery I have a USB port, like an out port, and I go straight into the USB-C of the camera. The monitor has a dummy battery that goes from the monitor to a D-tap cable, and the D-tap cable goes again inside my V-mount battery. And now it's all powered, but I miss the HDMI cable that goes from my monitor to the camera itself. So I start from the monitor here, and I fit it into the HDMI output. And with the clamp now, I'm gonna secure my HDMI cable so I'm sure it will not break. That's why I love this clamp, because it's so helpful. I've broken at least 3 of these cables, especially the mini ones. They're terrible. So that will definitely help you to make it durable in time. Look at this setup. So nice and compact. One extra thing I want to show you guys. The V-mount plate at the back, and that's why I love it, and I've been looking for something like this for years. You have a swivel, like a dial, that when open will allow you to tilt the V-mount in an horizontal position. This is useful not only to grab the camera monitor and flip it and tilt it, do whatever you want. And the Sony camera monitor can now be used as a second monitor, maybe for the director, so you can put your battery up again, and have a nice and compact rig. And if you have a director here on your side, it could actually look through your monitor and you can look through your own monitor. But how I use this mount is also to keep my camera more stable. I usually shoot handheld, and sometimes you get shaky. I use one hand through the handle, and with the left hand I focus. And to help me in stabilizing the camera, I tilt the mount down and place the battery against my chest. So that's a third support I have here, a third point of support apart from my two hands. Sometimes the camera is still too close to my body, so the great feature of this plate is that you can extend it. You have another lock on the side of it which allows you to extend it and have the camera a bit further away from your body, but still have this third point of contact. And it's very useful also because the monitor now is at the right distance from my face. It's a tiny, basically shoulder mount, you know. You can't really see the monitor. You can tilt your monitor if you wanted to, so you could use it potentially as a shoulder mount as well, something like this, in case you get tired. It's great. I definitely recommend it. Your rig is nice and compact, but with a lot of different options to mount it. Go and check Smallrig out. I hope the video helped out. And again, all the links in the description tab. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, guys. Come on, the community is getting bigger. I want you to be part of it, so hit subscribe right now and hit the like button. I hope to see you in the next video. Come to see Scotland. Isle of Skye is beautiful. Unfortunately, weather, we need to talk about that. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.